So, Cyberpunk has been embroiled in controversy basically since it launched. They initially had a timeline that they revised and updated. They talked about a next gen version of the game coming at some point. As we know, the last gen versions of the game have now been patched several times. They're still not in a wonderful state. Maybe they're playable now, but at this point, it's exhausting even talking about the drama surrounding Cyberpunk. But yet again, here comes CDPR with a little bit more drama to share about the next gen versions of the game. I'm talking about the PS5 and Xbox Series X versions of the game that were supposed to come out shortly after launch that we still don't have. Well, here's your latest update. But before I tell you what they said, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when these videos go live. So yeah, this one is bizarre. Basically, CDPR had to address something about what is going on with Cyberpunk 2077. They have investors to answer to. They have to answer the question. And they released this report. It is current report number 39. I don't know what that means. Anyway, it came out October 20th, 2021. And here is what they had to say about the next gen version of the game. Subject: updated publication schedule of next-gen releases of Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Two promises that they said will be coming out soon. Legal basis, some legal thing that they have to adhere to. CD Projekt SA, hereinafter referred to as the company, wishes to provide an update regarding its publication schedule for 2021 as concerns the release of dedicated versions of Cyberpunk 2077 and The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt for next-gen consoles, Xbox Series X and S, and PlayStation 5. The management board of the company hereby announces that, based on recommendations supplied by persons supervising development, it has decided to allocate additional time to both projects. The company currently intends to release the next-gen versions of Cyberpunk 2077 in the first quarter of 2022, and the next-gen version of Witcher 3 The Wild Hunt in the second quarter of 2022. Disclaimer, it's translated, is basically what it says, I believe. Okay, so, wow. Cyberpunk just can't get a break. Let's go down memory lane here. So if you'll remember, Cyberpunk was pre-release shown to a few people. Of course, it was the PC version because the PC version at the end of the day wasn't that bad, all things considered, right? Still not the game that was initially promised. A lot was scraped out of the game near the end. And here we are looking at a 2022 launch for the next gen versions of Cyberpunk 2077, which is, it's insane to me. The only reason they did this is because they have to, because they're publicly traded and they have stockholders to address to. Otherwise, they never would have said anything. They would have just kept delaying it and likely not even given an update. So pre-release, they show a lot. They show the PC version. They did the live stream showing the Xbox console and whatever. And then the game launches. But before it launches, they sent out review copies of only the PC version of the game. And the PC version of the game, honestly, it's quite good. It received a lot of high scores, high praise. I praised the PC version myself. I had a great time playing through Cyberpunk on my PC. It was really, really fun, and I really, really enjoyed getting to play it. However, the problem is they never, ever provided console copies to anyone pre-release. They just didn't. They straight up never gave console versions of the game. So when the reviews came out, and everybody saw right through this, the reviews were for the PC version specifically. And then when we start playing the console version, surprise, surprise, things aren't so pretty. The Xbox One version and the PlayStation 4 version of the game are borderline unplayable, dipping down below 20 frames per second, almost near 10 frames per second at points on the base Xbox One console and on the PlayStation 4 console. The PlayStation 4 console performing marginally better, but when marginally better is like 20 frames per second, it's still not an experience that I would recommend to anybody. The PlayStation 5 version of the game, the Xbox Series X and S version of the game, is actually the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 version of the game, just running a little bit smoother. However, on those platforms initially at launch, there are tons of crashing issues where you will be able to play for maybe an hour and then the game will just hard crash out to the desktop and you lose a ton of progress. The internet gets a hold of this. They find characters that you walk up to them and they're literally just blocks because the level of detail isn't loading in. There's areas of the game where your game will just literally freeze and just stop working for a while it loads up a HUD element that needs to be displayed. And the experience largely is just abysmal on launch window. It has been memed to death. Everybody knows that this happened. The stock plummeted for CDPR. It was pulled off of the PlayStation Store because PlayStation pointed out just how terrible the experience was of Cyberpunk 2077. And only recently, now that they've patched the game numerous amount of times, to get it into a state where it's at least stable enough to sell on the PlayStation Store again, has it been allowed back on the PlayStation Store. So the latest in the drama-filled updates of Cyberpunk 2077, which again, all things considered, I still enjoyed on PC. It's truly unfortunate that these tactics utilized just make CDPR look dishonest. Regardless of what actually happened behind closed doors, saying things like, we didn't experience the bugs that many users experienced. Did you play for more than an hour? Like, how is it even possible that they didn't experience the sort of things that we experienced? And it was a lot of excuses, it felt like, when they were talking about what happened here. So now here we are, a note to investors about what they're doing with Cyberpunk 2077, a very weird way to deliver this messaging about having to delay the next gen version of the game. Also, there's supposed to be a whole bunch of free content coming to Cyberpunk 2077 that just never happened. So we're sitting around waiting for the free content updates that we were promised. And now we've heard that the next gen version of the game has been delayed to 2022. Fans, of course, just aren't happy at this point. I don't really know what the answer is for CDPR to do here, but I think they just need to make sure that whatever they end up releasing in the coming months, it has to be flawless. It has to be an amazing experience because they have to win back that goodwill with their users, with the people who believed in them and trusted them when buying Cyberpunk 2077. Hopefully that can happen because I do think there is a good game there underneath all of the drama, and I hope they can figure out whatever they need to figure out to make that happen. Hey, thank you so much for watching. That's my take on the Cyberpunk news. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you want to become a member, memberships are turned on. But before you do that, at least hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when my videos go live. And if you want to become a member, hit that join button. You can see what that entails. It's a way to support the channel that YouTube offers, so I turned it on. Thank you so much to everybody who has become a member. I'm going to get out of here. I'll catch you for the next one. Bye for now, everybody.